KTN News.
Elsewhere, Uganda police has over time boasted of advancements in its policing activities in Kampala and across the country. But trends of crimes have accelerated to new formats. Godfrey Badebe, our Kampala-based correspondent, has teamed up with NBS TV Investigates team to follow a squad of street vendors stealing from people in Kampala. And this investigation exposes who they are, how they work, and how rich they've become. This is a daring story. Watch.
The city swells considerably due to the influx of commuters, bringing the urban population to around 4.5 million people during the day. The population growth rate is very high, estimated at 3.9%. The increase in the population of Kampala has been associated with very high traffic congestion, growing informal settlements, significant challenges delivering amenities and public services, and weak job creation in the face of the city's growing population. But closely surviving on these streets are street vendors.
They tend to call themselves vendors, but they are not vendors.
Peter is a concerned citizen who has keenly noticed a gang stealing from innocent Ugandans downtown Kampala. For his safety, we won't reveal his identity. There is a mind game going on here.
There's a lot of gaming that takes place around there.
The cartel we are breaking down is bigger and deeply rooted.
Police
In the recent past, Kampala Capital City Authority has had intense operations to eliminate street vendors. But this is something new to the authority spokesperson.
You are not telling me news canary that they are criminals disguising as vendors or vendors disguising as criminals. What's for sure is that vending is not an activity accepted by KCCA.
It is some sort of a new crime. We started registering such cases this year, where customers are given fake money upon purchase of an item on the road. These are actually hawkers.
We will take this exception in this investigation. Downtown Kampala, a hustle and bustle as everyone struggles to survive. But beneath these crowds is this gang we'll call the money swap bandits. For close to 4 months, we've closely monitored how they work and how much money they earn from cheating Ugandans. Here at Nachivubo Channel, just adjacent to Ham Shopping Center, is the workstation of the gang, ripping Ugandans of their hard-earned money. As a routine, here is an early parade. It's a roll call, and the gang leaders hands over trousers to the team members for the day's activities to get started. Peter, our whistleblower, knows how this racket operates.
Because there's a lame man there. I think once in a while they tip him, in case if there is an alarm, he will come and say, the person who has done that has moved away. They even know how to change shirts. After he sells the product and you come back to identify, you find that he has already changed his shirt. He reaches at home that he realizes he was given either less money or he was given a counterfeit.
We'll probe the information of giving out counterfeits, but also the swapping of the money. This we'll show you in 4 scenes filmed on different days. The details in it will surprise and shock you. Let me break it down for you. This 7-man and lady team will each have a trouser or 2 displayed. They seem to be selling them. The trousers are just a bait. They toss around hunting for potential buyers, and this is what you need to pay attention to. When you stop to check out the trousers as a buyer, the gang seller normally acts to willingly offer the trouser to you at a cheaper cost or giveaway price. And when it's time to pay up, the gang leader, he then advances in to receive the money. But he's furious about the less money, so he'll swap the money with either less of what you've given him or a counterfeit. They converge around you and form a ring of no return. We extensively filmed this gang and we'll show you this at different intervals. In this frame, this man is trying out the trouser, but on his left-hand side stands the gang team leader, monitoring the transaction. And on the right-hand side is this woman who is closely watching. The negotiations go on well. And when it's time to pay up, watch what happens. When you hand the money to him, the gang leader immediately steps in to receive the money and the lady closes in. But when he receives the money, he has his right hand in the pocket and he quickly picks a folded note which he swaps and switches with the money in his left hand, and as he hands it back over to the buyer, the lady and this man create an obstruction to you not to notice the money swapped. In just a few seconds, it's done, and he walks away. And again, this they repeatedly do to all people they stop. Yes, you've seen that, but let's show this again. Here, the gang leader is rearranging his money and places it in his right-hand side pocket. Something he continuously does to be ready for his next target. His pocket doesn't miss 1,000 shillings note, which he normally hands back to those who fall for the trap. And this man just landed in the trap. As he gets ready to pay, the leader again dips into his pocket for his 1,000 shillings he earlier arranged and folded. And it's done. Money lost to the gang. Some lucky few survive. This one in particular goes through the same trick, but when he walks away, he quickly notices the money, and when he comes back to confront them, they surprisingly give him back his money. This poor man has probably been cautioned about Kampala, and he keeps money in his inner pants. He cautiously gets his money to pay for the trousers, but he's not spared either, and his much protected money is easily taken by the gang.
The switching of the money is when this gang leader tells the boys he works with that you sold my product at less the amount I wanted. Let's pay back this boy his money. He pays the money and the boy just moves. It's only when he reaches at home that he realizes he was given either less money or he was given a counterfeit.
Those that survive like this gentleman have a more detailed version of how this gang works.
The guy gave me the cloth at the price he had wanted. Then on me giving him the money to get back my balance, he was in turn now giving me 1,000 instead of the actual price I gave him. Then on refusing, he later gave me a fake money, a fake note. Yeah. On me, on checking that it's a fake note, I declined. Then he had to give me the actual money.
Crimes like this are on the increase in the city. Last year, police registered a 0.1% increase in the volume of crimes reported, from 195,931 cases reported in the year 2020 to 196,081 cases reported in 2021.
It is quite rampant, the fact that most victims barely come to report such cases. Sometimes people are stolen money less than 10,000, and you will hardly find someone to come and complain against that. So we believe it is something that has been happening, but we do register a few cases. Authorities in Kampala Capital City Authority continue to battle street vendors on the streets
but this seems to be going off guard.
So it's a continuous quest on our part as KCCA to ensure that we do not lose or drop our guard in as far as enforcement of our regulation to have vendors off the streets is concerned.
This particular crime trend has several twists, with accusations and counter-accusations of police and KCCA officials involved in this vendor game.
We are always in running battles with many of these vendors, as you have already seen. So it is something that is hard to get rid of.
Abapoliisi ezo police posts zibajjako ssente era bagaana okusasula zijja ne zibakwata poliisi yesolooza ababbi abo.
We don't have any findings that these officers work with them, but our office at Crime Intelligence is looking into the matter.
This is a whole new line of investigation. We will refer to this later on. We get back to the gang downtown Kampala. We've seen several victims, spoken to survivors, but as a clear line of investigations, we have a plan of how to detail this crime further. The plan is clear. Our colleagues, Mugenyi and Mukisa, are born and bred in Kampala. They will pose as potential buyers. We set out to camp downtown at sunrise, and one by one, the gang arrives on duty. This queen on the team is on time and she has to look nice for the day. The gang leader too is here and it's breakfast time. He does not work on an empty stomach. We too are set with our initial plan. This time, we will have our cameras get closer to the gang, but secretly. We will watch what happens at a safe vantage point so as not to blow our cover. When our colleague Mukisa advances to them, it's the usual narrative. A bit of negotiation over the cost of the trousers, but when it's time to pay, it's no different. The money is refunded and unknowingly, he leaves and returns to our vantage point. In his disbelief, his 20,000 shillings has been swapped for 1,000 shillings. He's fallen into the trap. We ask him to go back and ask for his money. When he gets to them, the gang doesn't give him the due attention. They seem to look away from him. Not until one of them steps in with pretense of a goodwill ambassador. And he's lucky he's given back his 20,000 shillings note.
The other guy was like, no, this is Kampala, what, but I insisted I just needed my money. So after like 3 minutes, a guy came from the other side and just asked, so who has his money? And the guy just pointed on their colleagues, so the guy just grabbed the money and gave me.
We'll show you this one more time. It's Henry's time to try this out. He brags of being a city-born, and he goes through the same drill. As he gets to pay for the trouser of his choice, this man right here, look closely, is getting his swap money ready from his right-hand pocket. And he strikes right on time. Done.
They outsmarted me today. Give them a 20K, they hand me a 1K. Some wondering.
Just like Mugenyi, many people are left wondering in disbelief. This gang has perfected the game. We will break it down for you. This man, the gang leader, who we now know is Medi Waswa, has allegedly amassed a lot of wealth from cheating Ugandans. We have carefully studied his daily routine, timelines and movements. We now need to find out where he stays. We hire a private investigator. We will call Bengo, not his real name. He's been on several investigations in and around Kampala, and his service comes in handy. After some hours of surveillance on Mehdi, the principal target, it's a walkover to Bengo.
He's a common person around there. He does it every day. He doesn't shift like changing locations. He's always there. If he's to move, he moves hardly, he moves 30 meters.
It pans out so easy to find out where his home is. Mehdi Waswa leaves his workstation at 6 prompt, and our investigator is on the lookout for him, and he takes his journey back home. Ham Road through Kafumbe Mkasa Road, rides towards Owino Market but goes straight past the road that goes directly to Owino. Here he takes the Kisenyo Road towards Haas Petrol Station. He moves up towards Luwire High School, where he takes the Ring Road, passes Kabaka and Jagala Road, and continues on to the road that joins Masaka Road in Indeba. It's a junction. He crosses through. This road leads to Freedom City, but we branched off from the one that leads to Najana Nkumbi. He joins from here and continues on to Entebbe Road. He gets to Namasuba, branches off to the road that goes to Ndeje. After Namasuba Center, like 100 meters, he stops by to buy bread. The journey continues, but before the first petrol station on the right, there is a tarmacked road that goes up on the left, off to Ndeje Main Road. He stops somewhere here. The distance from the main road is in between 200 to 300 meters. After this drop-off, he continues for 2 to 3 kilometers. This leads us to a trading center. He stops for a few minutes to talk to some people. Up the road there are 4 roads, one going down, another up, while the other goes to the left. We didn't get the actual road he took, but there's a motorcycle that was parked a few meters at the rental apartments. This geolocation clearly spots where Mehdi Waswa lives, and this is key in our investigation, more so in exposing how wealthy this gang leader is.
A very calm and smart person. He's not a violent person in kind of riding on the way. Even when he's conducting his business, it is the other guys who are violent.
For a long time, Mehdi and his team have extorted money from Ugandans. Averagely, the team meets over 40 buyers on a daily and take averagely 19,000 shillings from them and are given counterfeits or completely duped for nothing. Quick mathematics shows that the team makes approximately 760,000 shillings daily, which sums up to 18 million shillings in a month. Earning monies like this is a dream far away from many unemployed youths in Uganda, not even close to your paycheck in office.
Sente ze bakola olunaku sijja kulimba naye nga bakola sente kubanga omuntu bw'amala ekintu mwaka mu 2 n'akisigalirawo aba akola.
Mehdi, the gang leader, is living a fairly comfortable life, and we will show you how. As the sun sets, we closely monitor Waswa as he winds up his day. At exactly 6, he will sign out his day's activities, and at the parking yard, he will get his motorcycle, and off he rides. We will just follow him. He patiently goes through the traffic, and routinely, he makes 2 stopovers to do some home shopping. Today he picks up this sack, which appears to be containing some food items for his family. The night cover is fast falling.
So we've gone up, and
here we have deployed 2 teams to be keen on not losing sight of Mehdi, our target. It's a bumpy ride, but we won't relent. He just rides into an open garage and it's immediately closed. This is Mehdi Waswa's home. Unfortunately, we can't film here now, it's really late. But we're now sure of his home location. We'll return during the day with a clear plan to fully witness his property. Ndeje Chibutika is a fairly busy town as locals go by their daily chores. With a well-crafted plan, we asked the local council leadership to take us around the locality. We tactfully guide this mayor to this home and he nails it right. And down the road is this bungalow, Waswa Muhammadi's home, locally known as Tata Sula.
Wano wa Waswa kuba kwati Mama Sula lyerinnya lyakwata ennyo naye nga ye Waswa Medi Waswa musubuzi wa akolera mu wina atunda ngoye enkadde wano we tuli saawe no olwaleero.
Tata Sula, as he is commonly referred to here, is a total contrast from the Waswa we've witnessed on the streets of Kampala through this entire investigation.
Ye muntu mulungi nnyo era bwe yasenga ku kyalo kuno n'aleeta ne baganda be bonna.
Tata Sula, or we can call him Medi, has lived in Indeje Chibutika since 1991 and over time built up himself this bungalow house where he now stays with his family. He has a few rentals on the sidelines for an extra income. And this loyal tenant has lived and paid rent to Waswa for the last 7 years, but has no clue of what her landlord does.
Ye Muhammadi Waswa. Simanyi wabula naye akolera mu town.
And more contradiction is how they describe his nature of work. They can only guess, but we know the truth. To get clearer answers about this man, we decided to put this directly to him and speak to him. We're downtown Kampala right now and we are going to, talk to these guys. I know it's harm's way where we're going into. It's a very, very dark place. But we're doing this so you can know the truth and avoid being cheated. As a routine job, Medi is already at his workstation. Straight up to him, camera shy and not willing to speak to us. Waswa can't face us and he flees into the arcades. This only confirms what we've been trying to film on camera, that if he runs away and doesn't want to talk to us, and we have him on evidence, it just confirms that he's been cheating people and he's guilty. And all his accomplices flee. We just hope Waswa and his team flee into the arms of justice for the many Ugandans that have been cheated. Tata Sula's story is a hard one to tell, but it's a matter of caution to all of us to live as responsible citizens and members of our communities. And as we end this story, it's a clarion call to the authorities that be, I am just a messenger. Kanari Mugume, NBS investigates.